गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। शुक्लां वरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वं मरोगिताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। तं सूर्यं जगतां नाथं ज्ञानविज्ञानमोक्षदं महापापहरं देवं तं सूर्यं प्रणमाम्यहम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु, प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। प्रथमं कारकपुस्तकं प्रथमपुटे। तो क्रमवतां वर्णानां समूहः पदम्। अत्र पदं नाम किम् इति दत्तमस्ति। क्रमवतां वर्णानां समूहः पदम्। पदसमूहः वाक्यम्। वाक्यम् अभीप्सितम् अर्थं बोधयति। अतः शब्दप्रपञ्चे वाक्यमेव प्राधान्यम् आवहति। किन्तु पदम् अन्तरा वाक्यं न भवति। ऋते वर्णेभ्यः पदं नास्ति। अतः व्याकरणे वर्णानिमित्तानि कार्याणि पदनिमित्तानि कार्याणि च सन्ति। प्रायः सन्धिकार्याणि वर्णनिमित्तकानि, समासादीनि पदनिमित्तकानि, वाक्यम् अवलम्ब्य प्रवृत्तानि भवन्ति कारकाणि, कारकसम्बन्धीनि कार्याणि च। साक्षात् परम्परया वा वाक्यानि संस्कृतम् एव व्याकरणं प्रवृत्तम्। संस्कर्तुमेव व्याकरणं प्रवृत्तम्। सम्प्रति कारकाणि कारकसम्बन्धीनि कारकाणि च इह प्रस्तूयन्ते। सो अत्र किं दत्तमस्ति? क्रमवतां वर्णानां समूहः पदम्। सो वर्णानां समूहः पदम्। पदसमूहः वाक्यम्। वाक्यम् अभीप्सितम् अर्थं बोधयति। सो वाक्यं किं करोति? अभीप्सितमम् अर्थं बोधयति।
మేడం గారు ఇంగ్లీష్ లో కూడా చెప్పండి కొద్దిగా ప్లీజ్.
చెప్తాను. నేను ఎక్కువసేపు ఎట్లాగూ సంస్కృతంలో మాట్లాడలేనులేండి, చెప్తాను. సో వాక్యం అభీప్సితం. ఫస్ట్ పేజ్. We are on first page only. ఓకే, ప్రథమం పుటే. So here what is being told? Kramavatam varnanam samuhaha padam. Padam is varnanam samuhaha. Okay. Pada samuhaha vakyam. Vakyam is a group of words. Word is a group of letters and a sentence is a group of words. Vakyam abhipsitam artham bodhayati. So Vakyam will give you the meaning that you desire to know. Okay, the meaning of the sentence is what you would like to know. Ataha Shabda Prapanche Vakyameva Pradhanyam Avahati. So normally Vakyam takes more priority because that is what gives the final meaning or whatever you want to know. Only word cannot give you what you would like to know. A Vakyam is that which can convey the meaning completely. So it has more importance. Kintu Padam Antara Vakyam na bhavati. So though Vakyam has so much of importance, it cannot be formed without words. Padam Antara, here Antara means without. It is an avyayam, which means without. Vakyam na bhavati. Rite varnebhyah padam nasti. And a padam cannot be formed without the letters. Okay? Varnebhyah rite padam nasti. Ataha vyakarane varnanimittani karyani padanimittani karyani cha santi. So in Vyakarana, we have some karyams, sandhi karyams, we have samasa karyams, we have certain kinds of karyani. Varnanimittani karyani api santi.
Mahodaya, samyak na shrunotu.
Huh? So without, there are some karyas which are based on the varnas. There are some karyas based on the words. So varna nimittani karyani, pada nimittani karyani cha santi. So what are varna nimittakani karyani? Sandhi karyani. Because the sandhi happens between letters, right? Sandhi happens between letters. So varna nimittakani karyani sandhi karyani. Pada nimittani karyani samasas. Samasas happen between words. That karyam, samasa karyam happens between words. So pada nimittani karyani.
Mahodaya.
Yes, Bhagini?
आवाज नहीं है.
Huh? Everybody is able to hear properly?
Yeah, madam. Yes, I can able to hear clear.
So Bhagini, Mugdha Bhagini, I think it is some fault from your side. You please try to log in again or something. Okay? Okay.
Pranam Bhagini.
Madam, you can mute all. You can mute all, madam.
Please, all of you mute yourselves, and I will give a pause and ask if anybody has any questions. Then you can raise your hand. That time too, you raise your hand, and each one can be answered. Okay, all of you, if you speak at the same time, also we will be wasting our time. We cannot understand everyone. Okay, so when I pause and ask if anybody have any questions, then you raise your hand using this Zoom tool. You have a place where you can raise your hand. Okay, you use that.
Bhagini, Bhagini, pustakam, ye pustakam lodi?
Karakam pustakam.
Karakam, indulo madam, Kovida.
Kaadu. Group lo pettam chudandi PDF file.
Oh.
అందులో చూడండి వాళ్ళకి. Okay, and today we will not be reading out of the Karakam book a lot. I will be covering a little concepts also, which are outside of the Karakam book. So don't worry about the book. You just listen, okay? You can always follow with the recording again if you have any questions. So we stopped at varna nimittani karyani or sandhi karyani, pada nimittani karyani or samasas. Okay, vakyam avalambya pravrittani bhavanti karakani. Now what are karakani? Karaka karyani. Vakyam avalambya. So based on the varnas, sandhi karyani happen. Based on the words, samasa karyani happen. And karakani will happen based on the sentence. Only when there is a sentence, we can apply the karakani. Okay, we cannot apply them just on words or just on the letters. Sakshat paramparayava vakyani samskartum eva vyakaranam pravrittam. So the main purpose of vyakaranam is to be able to express what we want, what we would like to convey through the sentences. So the sentences will be more and more refined using the vyakarana. Samprati karakani karaka sambandhini karyani cha iha prastuyante. So right now we will be looking at karakani and karaka sambandhini karyani. Okay, what are the different karyas based on the karakas? That is what we will be studying in this book. Now, before moving forward, let us look at a document that I'm going to share right now. I would like to just give a background. I would like to give a background on a few concepts. Okay. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Drishyate. Samyak bhavati.
Okay. So here, if you look, now what is a padam? Now here in the first paragraph,
किञ्चित् zoom करोतु भगिनि.
Already it is zoomed.
वयमपि zoom कर्तुं शक्नुमः.
You also can zoom it at your end. So here,
enough. Man, you can still zoom. It was. You can still zoom. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so here we saw that Varnanam Samuhaha Padam. That is what is given in our book, in the Karakam book, in the very first line, Varnanam Samuhaha Padam. But let us also look what the other Vyakaranas have defined, how they have defined a Padam. One is Suptinantam Padam. This you all must have heard before. This is from our Ashtadhyayi. It is the sutra in the first Adhyaya Nalugo Padha. Okay. And 14th sutra. Suptinantam Padam. Suptin Antam Padam. So that which has a sup pratyaya at the end, or that which has a tin pratyaya at the end, is called Padam. Means Subantam means nouns. Tinantam means verbs. Like the Lakara verbs. So those are considered as Padam. That is as per our Ashtadhyayi. And then there is another definition given in Vakyapadiyam. This is a grantha written by Bhartrihari. Okay. He was a great grammarian, a great poet, and a great yogi. Okay. And he was also a king, actually. And he composed this work called Vakyapadiyam. Okay. And in that, he also gave the concept of Shabda Brahma. But before going there, let us look how he gave the definition of Pada. Padena varna vidyante, varneshvavayava nacha, vakyat padana matyanta, praviveko na kaschana. Okay. So this is the 73rd verse of the first chapter of Vakyapadiyam. Now here, if you look at it, pade na varnaha vidyante. Okay, so varneshu avayavaha nacha. So varnaha pade na vidyante. So what is he meaning by this is, there are no parts. See, in one thing you all have to understand is, the different perspectives of all the Vyakaranas and the literary people, how they are defining this. There are several definitions, there are several concepts. This is just a glimpse into few of the concepts. Okay. So here how they are looking at a pada is, varnaha na vidyante pade. Means in a word, there are no letters. Varneshu avayava nacha. Avayavaha nacha. Varneshu. In a varna, there are no avayavas. There are no parts in a varna. Okay. Vakyat padanam atyanta pravivekaha na kaschana. So similarly, even a Vakya does not have any parts, means a word cannot be separated. Pravivekaha is to separate. So from a Vakya, even the words, separation of the words cannot happen. So this is how he defined a pada. Okay, this is a very big grantha. There are so many definitions in different aspects. Okay, this is just a preliminary verse. Now, why did he say varnaha padena vidyante? A word is made out of aksharas. Why is this said here? Because they are looking beyond the varnas. Okay, we will be discussing about that also. So a word is not just a group of letters. It carries a meaning in itself. Okay, it is not simply a group of letters. Now, if I put any three letters together, any three random letters together, does it become a word? It cannot. It needs to have a meaning, and a meaning that everybody should be able to understand. Only then we call it a word. Simply a group of varnas cannot be called a word. That is what is being told here. Okay? Varnaha padena vidyante. Just a group of letters is not a word. Similarly, a varna also cannot be divided into avayavas. Avayavas means parts. And similarly, from a vakya, a word cannot be taken aside. Means a vakya is a group of words which carries a meaning. And even if one word is pulled apart, that will not be called a vakyam anymore. Because that vakyam has a comprehensive meaning that it will be providing. So we cannot look at the words, letters, and the vakyam as separate entities, or a group of words is a vakya. Randomly, I will put 3 or 4 words together, and if I say it is a sentence, will you accept? No, it will still have a karta, karma, and kriya. But still, will you accept if it doesn't make sense? You will not. So a vakya also should have, it is a group of words, but the words should have a meaning. Together, the words should be able to present a meaning which is desirable by the listener. Only then we call it a vakya. So that is how it is given here. So here, this about a little about Bhartrihari. He's a very great grammarian and a very great poet. So just a few words about him. So, there was a time in India where the Buddhism has prevailed. Okay, Buddhism took over so strongly that there was a threat to the Vedas, the Veda Pramanyam. Okay, the Veda period. There was a threat. So that time, many people have worked towards establishing again, the importance of the Vedas and how they can be applied in our life and everything. There were many people who worked towards it. The Nayayikas have worked. Similarly, the literary people also have worked. And Bhartrihari also, during that time, he was shaken by that kind of change that came. So he looked again into our tradition. And being a grammarian by nature, though he was actually a king, he had literary interest. So that is why he became a great grammarian and a poet also. So naturally, having that literary sense, he looked into our scriptures and he came up with this concept of Shabda Brahma. Means he believed that the realization of Brahma, he realized Brahman, and what that Brahman as per his perspective is the Shabda. Okay, the Shabda itself is the Parabrahma. That is how he looked at it. And then he expanded this idea of the Shabda Brahman, and based on that, he wrote this Vakyapadiya, in which he defines an Akshara, a Pada, a Vakya, all these. It's a very big grantha, but that is the basics about this thing. Okay, so that is about Bhartrihari and Vakyapadiyam. And the very first shloka of the Vakyapadiyam, Anadi Nidhana Brahma Shabda Tattva Yadaksharam Vivartate Artha Bhavena prakriya jagato yata. Okay, so the split I've given here, anadi nidhana brahma shabda tattva yadaksharam vivartate artha bhavena prakriya jagataha yataha. So basically here this parabrahma is that which has no beginning and no ending, and that is nothing other than the Shabda Tattva itself, because he believed that the Shabda, that Omkaram, say for example, is the Parabrahma. So that Shabda Tattva, okay, exists. Vivartate artha bhavena prakriya jagataha yataha. So basically he believes that the nature of the Shabda itself is manifested in this Jagat. Okay? And from which the objects also have come into existence. That is how he describes the Brahman. Okay, that is about very briefly about Bhartrihari and Vakyapadiya. Anantaram, there is another definition for the Pada given by another Vayakarana.
Nagesha Bhattaha.
By another Vayakarana, Nagesha Bhattaha. Tatra Vakyaspotaha Mukhyaha Tasya Eva Loke Arthabodhakatvat Tena Eva Artha Samaptehe Cha Iti. Okay, so basically here what Nagesha Bhatta says is, a word by itself does not have a meaning. Only through the Vakya Spota, it carries a meaning. So if you pull out a word from a sentence, that complete meaning of the word is not evitable. Okay, it is only evitable when it is being used in a sentence. Through the meaning of the sentence only, the meaning of the word can be completely expressed. Okay, so say for example, if we take a word called run in English. Okay, when I say run, so there are several meanings that come to our mind. One is physically running. One is, running a store, like managing a store. One is running out of time. There are like several meanings for the word run. So if I simply ask you what is the meaning of run, of course, the most common used meaning will be told. But when this word is there, like she runs the store, and if I pull that run out from that sentence, can you tell the meaning of this word run completely, like how it is being used in the sentence? We cannot. Only when it is in that sentence, the sense of that word will be completely expressed. So that is what here Nagesha Bhatta is trying to say. Okay, he is the author of Paramalaghu Manjusha. Okay. Now, another thing that I would like you all to think about is, whenever we say word and word meaning, we don't give much thought about word and word meaning. We don't look at them separately, but we have to look at them separately. So here there is a word symbol and the object related to that word symbol and the thought. So say for example, when I say Agni, what comes to your mind? Fire comes to your mind. Okay. So here, but actually there is a word symbol for Agni, which is Akara, Gakara, Nakara, and then Ikara, Agni. Okay, and then Visarga, Agni. So that is the word symbol. So word symbol means the actual aksharas which are forming that word. And then the object itself. Now the object here is that fire. Okay, so the word symbol is there and that object is there. And then the thought is there. And what is this thought that connects the word symbol to the object? So when I say Agni, in your mind that fire came. Why? Because there is already a connection between the sound that I am making. See, first there is the sound also. Even before the symbol, there is the sound. If I am showing you the word like here on the screen, then you can see the symbol, the word symbol. But otherwise, if I am simply saying, first this sound, which is associated with the actual physical symbol, the word symbol, and then to which the object is connected and through the thought. If somebody does not know the connection between the word symbol and the thought, say for example, you have a child, he still doesn't know all the things around him. If you simply say Agni, and there are several objects there. There is a fire, there is some water in a bucket, there are some toys. And if you say Agni, and if you ask him to point out which one of those three is Agni, will he be able to point out until he has a prior knowledge of it? Unless he has a prior knowledge of it, he cannot connect the sound that you are making Agni to the actual object there. So that learning process also has to happen. Even for us, we always come across so many new words, so many new things. And sometimes we don't know what that thing is called, or we know the names, but we don't know the thing that it represents. So all this will happen through learning process. So as we are learning, progressing multiple times, connecting the word symbol to the object, and then multiple times after doing that, that thought is there permanently in our brain, and then that spota happens. Here spota means that normally in our mother tongue also, whether it is in Telugu or in any other language, I'm assuming in Telugu at least, spota means this burst open, right? So that thought, when I say Agni, this thought suddenly came into your mind. You are able to picture a fire. But that happened because we all know the connection between the sound Agni and that thing, fire. But for a child, for that to happen, that spota to happen, it will take time. Okay, so initially he will be getting used to listening to that sound and then that object, and then that memory is not established in his brain. So next time when you say Agni again, there is some familiarity, but it is still not connecting. But then one day it will connect. That one day connection is called spota. So the minute you listen to it, immediately when it is occurring to you, when you are able to understand what it is, then that is called spota. Spota can happen at a word level and a sentence level, varna level, word level, and sentence level also. Okay. But here, so see, so here there is a sutra in Ashtadhyayi, Agner Dhak. So here the Padavibhaga is Agnehe Dhak. Now, when what this sutra means is, when we have the word Agni, the Dhak pratyaya should be added to that word. Okay, in many times, and there is a cause when the Dhak will apply. Agni Shabdat Dhak pratyaya bhavati sasya sa asya devata iti asmin vishaye. Okay. So when does this Dhak pratyaya apply to Agni word, Agni Shabda? When it is being used as representing a devata. Okay, when Agni is used, when the word Agni is used as representing a devata, Agni devata we say, no? Like when we are using it in that sense, then the Dhak pratyaya will apply and we get the word Agneya. Okay, the Dhak pratyaya causes that dirgha. Okay, so now when we are saying this, and when we say Agner Dhak, so here, do you think Pavaka also means fire? Do you think this sutra applies to Pavaka, the word Pavaka?
No.
No. Why? Because we are specifically talking about the word Agni, Akara, Gakara, Nakara, Ikara. Not about any word that also means also has the same sense as Agni. It is not like that. So here this sutra applies only to the word symbol, not to the actual Agni, not to that object, not to all the words that represent that object. It is only applies to this set of letters, Akara, Gakara, Nakara. So why I am explaining all this is, there is importance to the word symbol, to the object that this word symbol is representing, and to establish a connection between these two, this thought. Okay, this mental picture also should be there. Okay, we have to be aware of that. Only then we will be able to understand what pada means, what padartha means, and what vakyartha means. Okay, To be able to understand that, I have given you this example. Okay. So now just keep all this in mind. You don't worry too much about it, but understand a pada is not simply a group of letters. Of course, it is a group of letters, but then they should together make a sensible word which has a meaning, which also represents an object. If it is not a physical object, it can also be an abstract object like santoshaha. Santoshaha literally doesn't have any object associated with it, but it explains a concept, right? So either it has to represent an abstract concept or a physical object. Only such varnas, when put together, can make a valid word. Okay, they should have a meaning. And for us to have the padajnanam, we should know the word symbol, the object, and the connection between those two. That also we should have. So the shabdajnanam, padajnanam, padarthajnanam, also we should have. Okay.
What is the meaning of duck, madam?
That is the pratyaya.
Okay, no, meaning, actually literal meaning.
Literal meaning, pratyayas, they don't have meaning. They are applied in certain cases. Panini Maharshi has assigned certain pratyayas that can be used based on the observation, like how the pratyayas are applied. See, Panini Maharshi did not invent Vyakarana. He only observed all the Sanskrit scriptures, how the language is being used, and he tabulated everything, grouped things into Shabdas, into pratyayas, into dhatus, and he saw how the patterns are working, and depending on that, he came up with these pratyayas. He physically coined these pratyayas and used them so that it will be easy for us to learn. So dhak by itself, since it is a pratyaya, it does not have a meaning as such, but it will be applied only in certain cases, where specifically the word is being used to represent in this case, represent the name of a devata. And it gets dirgha. Whenever this pratyaya is applied, the shabda will get dirgha, the prathama swara. Okay, so any questions so far? So if you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Here, what you mean that this Agni word should be related to only the letters, but not the thought, not the fire, in fact. Do you mean to say like that?
In this sutra, when the dhak pratyaya is being applied, it applies only to that letters, Agni.
Okay, but not the actual fire.
No.
Yeah, that is the meaning you...
Able to distinguish between just the Varna Samuha and also the object this Varna Samuha is representing.
Okay, right.
Only for us to understand that there is a distinction between the two, I am showing this example.
Okay.
Because many times such things happen in Ashtadhyayi, the sutras will be applied on the actual letters. So we should be able to look at the Samuha, Varna Samuha separately than from the object that
there are several meanings for the fire, in fact, in Sanskrit, but we should not apply this sutra to that other meanings.
Correct. Correct. Yes. Yes, Mahodaya. So, Mugdha Bhagini?
Is this dhak pratyay, is this apply for Panchamahabhuta also?
For other Panchabhutas also you are asking?
Agni, Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu, Akash.
Yeah.
Agni is Tej.
So here this particular sutra only talks about the Agni word. So it does not talk about the Panchabhutas, Bhagini.
Bhagini, what I observed, dak is a tadhitanta pratyaya, right? Then it means yaya comes. Agni ki yaya agneyaha.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, correct. But here, let us not go into the tadhita pratyaya and how it works and all. We are focusing on the word symbol The dhak, agner dhak. Here, the dhak pratyaya is applied only to this group of letters.
Group of letters. Yes, yes.
So here, our focus is on the word symbol and the object and how to differentiate between those two. How to look at them separately. Because many times when we say Agni, the only thought that comes to our mind is the fire. But we also should understand what is going on, because your brain is doing all that and we are not realizing that. But in the learning process, when we observe a child, how does he make that connection between that sound? When you say Agni, after a few times that you show him what Agni is, eventually whenever you make that sound, he will understand what you're talking about. That connection is made in the mind. So it is only a sound that you are making. But how is that padartha spota, how is it happening in his mind? Because of the connection that is happening between the samuha of the varnas and the object. So between the two, there is a connection, which is called the thought. The thought process is also happening. So here for us, in this particular context, that is what we need to focus on. The word symbol, the object that it represents, and how that thought, the connection is being made. Okay? Anantaram Aparna Bhagini?
Hari Om Bhagini, Kshamyata.
Agni means for Akaranta, G for Gakaranta, N for Nakara. Is this formula for every word?
Say that again, Bhagini.
Agni means for Akaranta, G for Gakaranta, N for Nakaranta. All the letters in this Agni word, we use this. The same sutra is applied for every word.
For every word in the sense?
Which word we concern in Sanskrit language?
Which word? No, Bhagini, here we are only taking an example of one sutra. In this example, what I am trying to say is, when we say Agner Dhak, the Dhak Pratyaya happens to the word Agni when it is used in the sense of Devata, like Agni Devata. In that sense, when you use the word Agni, the Dhak Pratyaya applies. But normally what we think, whenever I say Agni, to the word Agni, Dhak applies. So there is a chance of us thinking that the actual object. So any word that represents Agni will get the Dhak Pratyaya. There is a possibility for people to think like that, right? But what I'm saying is, we should not take it like that. Here the Dhak Pratyaya applies only to this group of varnas. Akara, Gakara, Nakara, Ikara.
Dhanyavad, Mutaya.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
You said it was not considered as Panchabhuta, but Agni is one of the Panchabhutas, Bhagini.
It is.
How can we take that then?
No, see, we are not concerned about whether we are looking at it as a Panchabhuta or whatever it is. We are not looking at it right now. We are only looking how this sutra applies. This sutra applies only to that group of letters and not what it means, what the word means. Here we should apply the meaning. We should only apply to this particular group of letters in this sutra. Now there will be other sutras where Dhak is applied. But here this sutra is example to show that here in this sutra, the Dhak applies only to this group of letters, not to all the words that indicate fire, that indicate me. Okay. So why am I giving this example is because the group of words which have a meaning also is significant. But we should be able to distinguish it from the object that it represents. We have to look at them separately. Now, whenever I say Agni, the first thing that comes to your mind is fire, which is fire because that connection is already there in your mind. But you have to understand, be aware of that connection. So first, when I am saying this sound, Agni, it is when I say Agni. If I say like that, will that come to your mind?
No.
No.
Usually not. No.
Together, only when I say them together, that spota happens in your brain.
True.
Only when I say Agni, then in your mind that fire picture comes to your mind. Okay, that is what is called Padaspota. Say, for example, you are talking to somebody on a phone. The connection is bad. So some of your words are cut. Will the other person be able to understand what you're saying? He won't be. So here that sequence is also important. Only then your brain will be able to make that connection between the sound and the object. That thought connection is there. But we should be aware that a group of letters will represent a symbol and there is an object associated with it and there is a connection between the two. Sometimes we might have to work only with the symbol. Sometimes we might have to work only with the object. Those two are two different things. That is what I want you all to understand. Okay, don't worry about the dhak pratyaya right now. Okay, and where else it is being used. Don't worry if Agni here is a Panchabhuta or just a fire or Panchabhuta. Don't worry about all those. You just understand that a group of letters forms a word symbol.
In a particular sequence.
In a particular sequence, and it will represent an object, but sometimes we have to work with them separately.
True.
Okay. Here we are using only the word symbol. We are only working with the word symbol, not with the object that it means.
Here word symbol simply means varnas. Akara, Gakara, Nakara and Ikara.
Correct. Correct. Only when that combination of letters is there, this dhak is applied as per this sutra. Okay, in other sutras, there will be other rules. Don't worry about that. I took this only as an example.
Astu bhagini. Dhanyavad.
Vinod Bala?
नमो नमः, प्रणाम महोदय. ये जो हमने ढक की बात, may I speak in Hindi?
I am not very good at Hindi, but you can ask your question. I'll try to answer.
जो हमने ये जो आपने अभी समझाया ना, साउंड पहले जो हम अग्नि सुनते हैं वो, और उसके बाद जो वर्ड.
So did you understand what I explained about this example?
Yes, very nicely, very nicely.
Okay.
और ग अकार घकार नकार इकार और विसर्ग, ये जब सब मिल जाते हैं तो अग्नि शब्द बनता है. जब ये अग्नि शब्द, ये पर्टिकुलर शब्द जब अग्नि जो शब्द है जब ढक के साथ मिलता है, तब ही वो देवता के अग्नि देवता के लिए रिप्रेजेंट करता है.
Yes, correct. So there will be other words which also represent Agni, like Pavaka and all that. But those not apply here. When we say Agnir Dhak, so you should not take Agni means fire. So Pavaka also means fire. So maybe we can apply Dhak to Pavaka also. No. Okay. It applies to this group of Varnas.
तो हम कोई भी ऐसे ही वर्ड के साथ ढक मिला दिए तो देवता एक चीज को रिप्रेजेंट करेगी.
No, here in this example only you take. There are other applications of dhak. We are not discussing that right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Madam, I just wanted to convey that words generally have got more importance while using in either Vyakarana or Sahitya. In this context, I will give a small example, not more than 2 minutes. When you use Guru, you have to use Shishya. When you use Vidyarthi, you have to use Upadhyaya. When you use Antevasi, you have to use Acharya. Like that, close the matching of words should be there. This is in Sahitya or Vyakarana. Like that, to give that meaning, like that Agni, like that Agni may have so many meanings. Agni may be represented by so many words. Vakni, Hutasana, Havivahana. When he carries through, when he say Havivahana, we'll get in mind, we'll get a picture that we are doing some homa, we are putting some ajja, then he will cause Havivahana. And he is taking them to God, then Devaduta. Like that, words have got the specific meaning that enters our mind once we become familiar with in what context that word is more appropriate.
Yes, correct, Mahadev. Okay, so shall we move forward?
Acharya, I was just asking about the sequence. So when dak pratyaya is there, the sequence has to be a, g, and na only. So it
Yes.
cannot be in a reverse order or any
No.
random combination, even
No.
though any meaning is coming out of it.
No.
Okay, so the sequence also has to be in the same order.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Astu. So that is about the word symbol, the object that it represents, and the connection between the two. Many times we take the words very easily, right? But they have so much of significance, so we have to be cautious about it. So Anantaram padasya arthaha trividhaha. Abhida, Lakshana, and Vyanjana. Lakshana is also called Gauni. So here, this also very briefly will cover. Don't worry too much about it. So padasya arthaha. Now words have meanings. Especially when we are analyzing a shloka or a sentence or trying to figure out the meaning of something, it is important for us to know the intention of the speaker. Okay, what the speaker is trying to convey. A poet. When I say speaker, it can be a poet or a rishi from when we are trying to analyze the Shastras or any kind of Sanskrit literature. Okay, so Abhida is the actual meaning, the intended meaning or literal meaning. Okay, it is called Vachyartha and it is the literal meaning of the word, like how it is defined. The same meaning if you use, that is one meaning of a pada. The other one is Lakshana or Gauni, means a secondary meaning. Means it is used when the primary meaning does not apply in that situation, then we use the secondary meaning. Every word will have a primary meaning and a secondary meaning, or most of the words. Let me say most of the words. So most of the words have a primary meaning and a secondary meaning. So when the primary meaning does not apply in that context, then we have to take the secondary meaning. So when we are trying to figure out the meaning of a sentence or a shloka, and when we feel that the primary meaning does not apply here, it is not fitting into the sentence, then we can always look at the secondary meaning of that word and apply that there. Okay, so we have to be aware of the primary meaning, secondary meaning also. Okay, otherwise being able to understand the texts, it will be difficult. So we need to have the word power. Basically, we need to know the Shabda, what meanings they have. Harihi Shabda has so many meanings. It is not just Vishnu. There are so many other meanings. So based on the context, when Hari Shabda is used, if the Vishnu meaning of it is not applicable there, we need to be ready with the secondary meanings as per the context. So in that way, we need to know the kinds of meanings that a word can have. And the last one is Vyanjana. So Vyanjana is, how do you say? It is indication. Okay. It is complete suggested meaning. The word, the right word to express it is a suggested meaning. Or it doesn't have any relation with the primary meaning or the secondary meaning. It is total opposite. Sometimes it won't even have any kind of relation. In Telugu, we called Vyangyam. Actually, it is misused in Telugu. When we say Vyangyam, we say it is sarcasm. It is more used as sarcasm, a negative sense. But actually, it doesn't have any negative sense originally. Later on, it is used in the negative sense. But Vyanjana means, suggested meaning. So say, for example, but many times it sounds sarcastic only. So I think that is why we call it as Vyangyam and sarcasm. It goes into that. But actually, originally, when it is defined, it is a suggested meaning and it expresses completely different meaning. It has no relation whatsoever with the actual word used. But that is also applicable because that is how the usage is there. So say, for example...
Has it Vyangyam came from Vyanjana, madam?
Correct.
Yeah. So now I understood. So we are calling a Vyangyam. Vyangyam means it is the already some word Sanskrit it is there. Vyanjana, opposite meaning.
Vyanjana.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Vyanjana is also,
same.
Varnaha also meaning is there. Swaraha, Varnaha.
Swaraha?
Varnaha, alphabets.
Kaka,
Gag. Swara, Varnaha, Vyanjana. Vyanjanaha.
I didn't understand what you are asking.
In alphabet, Vyanjana, Kaka, Gagarai, Hal.
Oh, Vyanjana. No, that is different.
The spelling is same. Sanskrit spelling Vyanjana, that Vyanjana is same, madam.
That is the same. Vyanjana only, but here Vyanjana.
Yeah.
This is the meaning of a word, whereas those are the varnas.
Yeah, that's there. Okay, thank you very much.
So here, say for example, we have a boy who never studies well. Say for example, okay. So when somebody is if somebody is asking, okay, how does this boy study? Then somebody will say, oh yeah, he will get class first. So that is Vyanjana. Actually, when we say that this boy will get class first, we don't mean it. We don't even that primary meaning does not apply at all. Okay, we are meaning completely the opposite. So that is the suggested meaning, and the tone in how you say will the intention of the speaker will be understood by the listener. The way the sentence is put, the intention of the speaker will be understood. Okay, so that is also, so we have to watch out for that also, the tone in which it is being said. Only then we will be able to understand that it is the Vyanjana meaning that we have to take and not the Abhida meaning. But of course, sometimes we don't understand it and we take the Abhida meaning and only to find that it is, we took it incorrectly. This is what is actually meant. Okay. So this is very briefly about the three types of arthas a pada can have: Abhida, Lakshana or Gauni, and then Vyanjana. Okay. So we say sometimes it is right around the corner, but actually it will be 2 kilometers away. So that also comes under Vyanjana. Okay. Where there is no sarcasm. There is no sarcasm, but I'm trying to say that Vyanjana does not always indicate sarcasm, but it indicates a suggestive meaning where the literal meaning is not there even nearby. In Lakshana, at least some kind of, when the primary meaning does not apply, we apply the secondary meaning. But with respect to Vyanjana, it is totally different. Many times when people ask, oh, tomorrow itself I will come, but not tomorrow, 2 weeks later we'll go. So did we mean literally tomorrow? No, we really meant after 2 weeks only. But we say it like that. It is not out of sarcasm or anything, but we are trying to express that we will try to come as soon as we can. In that sense, we use such expressions in our speech. Okay, that we have to be aware of. Through that only we will be able to get the intention of the speaker. Okay. Anantaram Vakyam Nama Kim. So we have seen about Pada, the definition of Pada as given in the Karaka book. In the Karaka book, very briefly it is given. So we have seen how a few grammarians have defined Pada. Okay. And we have also seen the connection between, 1 second, Bhagini, I will pause for questions. Okay. So we have seen the word symbol, the object that it represents, and we need to have the padartha dhihi, we call that, okay, to understand the relation between the word symbol and the object. Okay, that will give us the knowledge of the meaning of the word. Okay. So Vakyam. Now we will move on to what is a Vakyam. So you were asking something, Bhagini?
Bhagini. Now Vyanjanam, that is have a more than one meaning. But then when we are looking into the dictionary, it is that always directs us to the Hal Varna. They never explain to us that there are other meanings are also there.
See, secondary meanings can be there. Secondary meanings can be given in the dictionary, but the Vyanjana meanings will not be given. That is only an application that you have to understand. But only through Vyavahara you will be able to understand the Vyanjana.
So, but Vyanjana is nobody is going to use word as a Vyanjana it is just the by of the tone of the voice or the intention of the sentence that we will feel that this is a Vyanjana, that is a sarcasm. Or there is no such word Vyanjana is used at that point. Am I correct?
No. Vyanjana is a word used to express the third kind of meaning a word can have.
Oh, okay.
So a word can have three types of meanings. One is literal meaning, which is called abhida. The second kind of meaning a word can have is a secondary meaning. When the primary meaning is not applicable, we use the secondary meaning to get the meaning of the sentence. Okay, that is called lakshana. That kind of secondary meaning in Sanskritam is called lakshana.
Okay.
And then there is this third kind of meaning, which is a suggested meaning, which will not be there in the dictionaries. That in Sanskritam is called Vyanjana.
Okay.
Okay, and that can indicate sarcasm sometimes, and that can also, like the example I said earlier, like my house is right around the corner, but it is not literally right around the corner. It is like 2 kilometers away. But why did I say that? To show that, or to express that my house is very close by. So to say that, to emphasize on the fact that my house is very close by, I say my house is just right around the corner. Okay, so that is Vyanjana.
Okay, so in another words, that any word would have this three kind of situation: apeksha, secondary meaning, lakshana, or the Vyanjana. Any word can have all the three qualities in them, and we will get an impression of the word by understanding the totality of the word sentence, what it meant for.
Yes.
Okay. Now it makes it more clearer. I was just struggling between
the sentence. No, the meaning of the word, right? Otherwise, if we pull that word out of the sentence, then it really doesn't carry much meaning. So around the corner, if I say around the corner, only if I apply it in a sentence, my house is around the corner, and when it is not literally around the corner, I will understand that this word is being used in the Vyanjana sense. Right? If it is really around the corner, then it becomes abhida.
Yes, understood, Bhagini. Thank you so much.
Okay. So Vinod Bala, Bhagini, you have a question? Okay. So let us move to Vakyam. Now let us. Yes, Bhagini?
मेरा हो गया.
Okay.
Finished.
Okay. Thank you. So let us look Vakyam, what is given in our Karaka book. Again, look at the Karaka book. Kim nama Vakyam? Karakanvita Kriya Vakyam. Yatha Mrige Dhavati Chhatraha Shlokam Pathati Saha Kate Upavishati Iti. Eshu Prathama Vakye Kartrikarakena Anvita Dhavana Kriya. Dvitiye Kartrikarakena Karmakarakena Cha Anvita Pathana Kriya. Tritiye Kartrikarakena Adhikaranakarakena Cha Anvita Upaveshana Kriya. So here Karakanvita Kriya Vakyam. So Vakyam is defined as Karakanvita. Anvita means Sambandha. Okay. And Karaka is Kriyanvayi, means Kriya, with Kriya. When the word has a sambandha, a direct sambandha with the kriya, it is called karaka. So with the kriya, when it has sambandha, then that sambandha is called karaka. Okay. So karakanvita kriya vakyam. So a kriya which has karakanvayam with the words of the sentence. So all the words of the sentence should have the sambandha with the kriya. Then that kind of sentence or that kind of group of letters is called Vakyam. Say, for example, if I say, Kandukaha Nidrati. Okay? Or Kandukaha Khadati. Is there an Anvaya? Is there a Sambandha between the Kanduka and the Khadana Kriya?
No.
There is no Sambandha. So that cannot be a Vakyam. Why? Because it still has a Kartrupadam, it still has a Kriyapadam. But this Padam, which is said to be Kartrupadam, does not have Anvaya with the Kriya. There is no Sambandha between the Kandukam and the Kriya. So we cannot say that there is a kartrukaraka sambandha asti iti vaktum na shaknoti. Ataha tat vakyam nasti. It is not a sentence. Just a grouping of some words will not become a vakyam. Only when there is anvaya between the words of the sentence to the kriya. And such sambandha is called karaka sambandha. If such karaka sambandha is there, only then we call it a vakyam. That is what is given here. Okay. And let us look. Mrige dhavati. Sorry, mrugaha dhavati. Mrugo dhavati. Mrugaha dhavati. So here mrugaha has anvaya with the kriya padam dhavati.
Yes.
So kartrikarakena sambandham asti. Okay, so we can call that a vakyam. Chhatraha shlokam pathati. Here kartrikarakena, karmakarakena cha pathanakriyayaha anvita asti. Okay, so the kartrikarakam has anvaya with the kriya padam. Karmakarakam also. The karma padam also has a karaka sambandha with the kriya. So this also will make a sentence. Saha kate upavishati. So here saha has kartrikaraka relation with the kriya padam. Kate has adhikarana karaka sambandha. So this also qualifies as a vakya. Okay. So that is what is given here. Now again, let us look at what a few other Vyakaranas have given about the vakyam. Okay, vakyam nama kim? Padasanghatajam vakyam. Okay, Brihat Devata. In this grantha, it is given by Shaunakaha. So here he defined it very simply. Padasanghatajam vakyam means a group of words is called a vakyam. But we have seen that just a group of words cannot be a vakyam. They have to have some kind of relation with the kriya padam. Akhyatam savyaya karaka visheshanam vakyam. Vartikakaraha, Katyayanaha. Katyayanaha is a Vartikakaraha. As per him, the definition of a vakyam is Akhyatam, Savyaya, Karaka, Visheshanam vakyam. So a vakyam is that which has a kriyapadam. Akhyatam means a kriyapadam. Sa avyaya means it has some kind of avyayas. Karaka, it has karaka sambandhas. And then Visheshanam, that which has Visheshanas. So all these put together, a vakyam should have all these elements. Okay, sometimes some of them might not be there. Avyayas always need not be there. Similarly, Visheshanas also always need not be there. But these are the elements that form a vakyam, is what he has defined. Ekartha padasamuhaha vakyam. This is given by Jayaditya and Vamanaha in Kashika Vritti. Kashika Vritti is written on, it is a Vritti, a Vyakyanam written on Ashtadhyayi. So, Ekartha Padasamuhaha Vakyam. So, Padasamuhaha, but this Padasamuhaha together should give one meaning. Ekarthaha. Okay, that only then it becomes a Vakyam. So, simply Padasamuhaha is not Vakyam. Together they should be able to give a meaning. Okay, then it becomes a Vakyam. Ekartha Padasamuho Vakyam. This also, again, Shabaraswami also said the same thing. Ekartha Padasamuho Vakyam in his commentary on Mimamsa Shastram. And then Vakyam tu Akanksha Yogyata Sannidhi Matam Padanam Samuhaha. This is given by Annam Bhattaha in Tarka Sangrahaha. Okay, so here Vakyam tu Akanksha Yogyata Sannidhi. So Padanam Matam. How should the mata of the padas, means the philosophy of the padas be? They should have akanksha, yogyata and sannidhi. Such kind of group of words is called a vakyam. So let us look at what is akanksha, yogyata and sannidhi very shortly. But going forward, the same meaning, the same what is given here by Annam Bhatta has been a little bit... No. Yeah, that is fine. So here in Amarakosha, what a vakyam is Suktinanta Chayoho vakyam. Suktinanta Chayoho vakyam means a vakyam is that which has subantas and tinantas, means nouns and verbs. Okay, that is called a vakyam as per Amarasimha in Amarakosha. And that meaning has been extended a little bit by Nagesha Bhatta. Karakanvita Kriyabodhaka suptinantachayo vakyam. So he is also saying a vakyam is that which has subantas and tinantas, but they should also have karakanvita kriya bodhaka. So the subantas and the tinantas should have a karaka relation. Okay, so the subantas should have a karaka relation with the kriya padam, the tinanta. Okay, then that is called a vakya. Okay, so that is about vakya. Now the vakya, what a vakya is, we have seen. Now what is Shabda Bodha? Okay. So what is Shabda Bodha? Let us see. 1 second. So there are sentences. There are sentences which have words. They have, Anvaya with the Kriya Padam. That is also fine. But what is a Shabda Bodha? How does it happen? Like how I said a group of letters that form a word represent an object. But that jnanam, that connection between that word, symbol and the object itself should be there. We should have that knowledge. Only then that padartha dhihi will happen. Padartha dhihi. Dhihi means understanding, intelligence. Intelligence or knowledge. Knowledge of the padartha should be there. Okay. Only then that meaning of the word will occur to us. Similarly, Shabda Bodha, the same thing we should apply, can be applied at the Vakya level also. Okay. It is applied at the word level. So here there is a book written by Kunjuni Raja, Indian Theories of Meaning. He showed this pictorial representation. So here this is the word sound. Word sound is that which we know. Like when I say Agni, okay, that is the sound. And then we have a symbol, actual symbol of that word. Here it is also shown in respect to the dhvani. So this Vaikrita dhvani is, this word sound differs from person to person. When I say Agni, it sounds in one way. When somebody else says Agni, it can sound a little bit different. Okay, so this word sound depends on the individual. It can change. Okay, but the word symbol, this word symbol represented, Prakrita Dhvani, this is constant. It will not change. So exactly how it should be. It has, every alphabet in Sanskritam has a sound, right? We should learn to pronounce those sounds correctly. And when we pronounce correctly, then the word sound, Vaikrita Dhvani and the Prakrita Dhvani will become the same. But otherwise, they will be a little different. But we should know. So say, for example, we come across this all the time. The pronunciations are different, right? So we should understand that that sound made by somebody is actually representing this word symbol. Say, for example, Eshaha. Eshaha Ramaha. Okay. This Eshaha, some people say Esa. Esaha, Esaha, like that they say. They pronounce it little differently. I've heard some people pronouncing like that. Initially, it did not even occur to me that they were saying the word Eshaha. It took a while, like the contextual basis. As and when they are saying the sound, I'm trying to connect it with the other words, so I will understand. Finally, I figured it out that, oh, they are trying to say the word Eshaha. But they were saying Esa, Esa. So we should understand that this, what the Vaikrita Dhvani is representing. We should know that. Okay. Only then that, what do you say? That spota happens, right? Otherwise, I'm not able to understand, because that word is pronounced differently from how I have learned it, or how it should be to start with. Because it is different from how it should be pronounced, that gap is there. So that mapping should be there. Okay, the mapping between the Vaikrita Dhvani and Prakrita Dhvani should be there. Only then we will know this sound is representing this symbol. Okay, and then the meaning, the word symbol and the meaning. This we discussed earlier. So the symbol and what it means, we should know. And then the thing meant also. Okay, what thing it means, what thing this word symbol means. And if I give you randomly a word and a thing, will you be able to make the connection without knowing the meaning of that word symbol and the object? We cannot, right? The meaning, only if you know the meaning, you will be able to connect the symbol to the actual thing. Like how I said for a child, when you say the word Agni, and this is the first time he's listening to it, and you have three objects there, a bucket full of water, a fire, and then a bucket full of toys. So when you say Agni and ask him to identify which of the three are Agni, he will not be able to tell. So then you show him, this is Agni. Okay, so now he understands the connection between the word symbol, the sound that you are making, and the thing. That spota will, or that learning process will happen in his brain, that connection. So repeatedly, if you do, finally that is fixed in his brain. So next time when you say Agni, he need not even look at the thing. In his mind, that picture comes. So the connection between the word symbol and the thing happens only through knowing the meaning. Otherwise, it cannot happen. That is why this is given in dotted line. Okay. The solid line indicates the direct connection. So the word symbol should have a direct connection with the meaning. Whenever the symbol, whenever you say Agni, the connection to that actual object should be there. Okay. Only then the connection between these two will happen. Without knowing the meaning, the connection cannot be established. Okay. So here the word sound and the thing meant also cannot happen without the meaning. So the meaning has to happen. Okay. That is about, and that is called Shabda Bodha. Shabda Bodha means Shabdat Jayamanaha Bodha is called Shabda Bodha. Means through the Shabda, from the Shabda, whatever understanding we are getting. Okay, that is called Shabda Bodha. And that happens only through knowing the meaning, the connection between the word symbol and the object through knowing the meaning. Only then it happens. Okay.
Miss, please say that sloka again. Shabdat Jayate.
Shabdat Jayamanaha Bodha Shabda Bodha.
Jayamana.
From the sound, whatever understanding happens, that is called Shabda Bodha.
Thank you.
Now here, Shaktihi. What is Shaktihi? In this context, what is Shaktihi is Pada Padarthayoho Sambandha. Pada Padarthayoho Sambandha Shaktihi. So the connection between the Pada and the Padartha. Okay, which is exactly what we discussed earlier in the Shabda Bodha. So there is this word, symbol, and then the meaning of that word, and then the relation between the two. The relation between this word, symbol, and the actual object. Okay, one should know that sambandha between those two. That is called Shakti. That is called Shakti. And how does one acquire this Shakti? Shakti Graham Vyakaranopamana Koshapta Vakyat Vyavaharatascha Vakyasya Sheshat Vivriter Vadanti Sanidhyataha Siddha Padasya Vriddhaha. This is in the Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali, which is a commentary on the Grantha Karikavali. And both are written by Vishwanatha only. So the Karikavali also is written by Vishwanatha, and he himself wrote commentary on his own work, and which is known as Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali. So how does this Shakti happen? Shakti Graham. How does this Grahana of the Shakti happen? Vyakarana, by learning Vyakarana. Okay. And then because for every dhatu, there is a meaning. For every pratipadikam, there is a meaning. So when we learn the pratipadika and the meaning associated with it, then pada padarthayoho sambandha we are learning. And with that, we get the Shakti. By getting the Shakti of that Shabda, we'll have the complete understanding of the word. Okay, so Vyakarana, Upamana. How do you apply Upamana? So basically, say for example, somebody does not know what water horse is. Say, for example, if I say water horse, okay, somebody doesn't know what a water horse is. So then I will describe it. It has a very big body. It has a horn, 2 horns. It has a thing which looks like the trunk of an elephant. You know, and it has very short tail. Like this, when I describe, then they will go, and when they come across that animal, then they will understand, oh, okay, this is what, you know, she was telling about. So, you know, it looks like a horse, but it is a little different. It has a bigger body, a rounder body, something like that. I will make a little changes, but compare with something that they already know, with a common object, and then they will understand. Okay. So upamana. Through upamana also we can get Shakti. Means the pada padartha yoho sambandha. So what water horse means? Water horse is pada. The padartha now I am able to understand from the upamana. So the Shakti is obtained. Anantaram koshaha. Koshaha means dictionary. Learning from the dictionary is always there. Okay, the word and the word meaning will be given there. Apta vakyat. So apta vakya means either from a guru or a trusted person. So if they tell you that this is what it is, this word, this is what this word means. So if it is a guru or somebody that we really trust, that they have the knowledge to share the correct information, then from that also we can obtain Shakti. And Vyavahara. Vyavaharataha. So through Vyavaharam means through usage. When we see it being used everywhere, on the news channels, in the magazines, in the newspapers, a word is being used repeatedly in a particular way with a particular meaning, then that is another way of acquiring Shakti. Vakyasya sheshat. Many times the context of the sentence. Now there is a sentence, one word we don't know. Okay. Like say, for example, she runs the store. Now somebody might not be aware of the usage of the word runs in this context. They only know running means physically running. So when somebody suddenly says she runs the store, she won't understand initially, what does this runs mean? Why did they use this runs in this sentence? And then tomorrow somebody else will say, oh, that lady, runs a family, a very big family. So after listening to such sentences several times, from the rest of the sentence, she will be able to understand, okay, in this context, this word means in this way. So vakyasya sheshat. And then vivriter vadanti. Vivritehe means explanation, basically, the description of that particular word. And then sanidhyataha siddhapadasya. Siddhapadasya sanidhya. Okay, association with other words which have more confirmed meanings. Okay, one word you don't know, but the word with which it is used knows. Like it is like synonyms and a thesaurus. If you look at a thesaurus, a word will be given, and when all the synonyms of that word will be given. So by that you will understand the meaning of this word. By looking at all the other words that are associated with this word, we can tell the meaning of this word. We will obtain the Shakti of this word. And then Vriddhaha. Vriddhaha is basically, again, this is like Apta Vakya only, means usage by elderly people, knowledgeable, not just age-wise Vriddha, knowledgeable people, Jnana Vriddhaha. Okay, means by scholars, usage by the scholars. So this is how one gets Shakti. Okay. Okay. Any questions?
Ma'am, this means Shakti can be understanding here. These Upamana, Kosha, Guru.
Get it as Shakti, knowledge. The knowledge of the word meaning.
Shakti is the knowledge
of the word meaning.
Word meaning. Understanding and apply to our usage is the Shakti?
Yes. Only when you understand, you will be able to use it. So the complete understanding of the pada and the padartha.
Is the only one way, or this 8 ways? Upamana, Kosha, Guru, Vyavahara.
These are all the ways that you can obtain Shakti. You can obtain through anyone.
Anyone, that is more important. Anyone or Any of some of them or all of them?
No. See, you can obtain the meaning of a word, the meaning of the word and the word meaning, the sambandha between the word and the word meaning through any of these means. These are all the means through which you can obtain. Even one is enough.
Okay.
Vyakarana, if you learn, through Vyakarana, if you learn, that is enough. If you get the complete understanding of that word, learning through Vyakarana, that is fine.
That is means association of with other words. Thesaurus, do you mean to say?
No. What I'm saying is, these are the different ways how you can get this Shakti. Means the understanding of the Pada Padartha Sambandha, you can obtain through any of these. If you have learned the meaning of a word through a dictionary, that is enough. You need not learn it through other ways.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, thank you.
Some words you are not able to find in the dictionary, say for example, or there is no access to a dictionary. So based on the context, you will figure out the meaning. So that is another way of understanding the word meaning. So these are all the different ways. You need not follow only one way. You can try to take whichever way possible to get the understanding of the meaning.
Okay.
Madam, one question, please. Shall we go back to the previous slide? Shabda Bodha.
Yeah.
Here, one particular major thing has been left out. When a word has several meanings, the context has also, it also matters very much, isn't it? To get the correct meaning.
Correct.
That has been left out in this diagram.
No. See, we have already studied that a pada can have three kinds of meanings, right? Abhida, Lakshana, and Vyanjana. So that will cover that part. Here, when we say meaning, any kind of meaning, but primarily we will talk about the primary meaning of a word. The secondary and all will come later. You know, later on you need to know the secondary meaning of those words and all that. But for every word, there will be one primary meaning. At least to start with, we need to have the knowledge of that primary meaning. Again, with the secondary meanings also. So when you have the knowledge of the primary meaning, you have Shabda Bodha of that word with the primary meaning. Once you know the other meanings of that same word, then we can say that you have the Shabda Bodha of all the meanings of that word. So here you can take it like that.
Probably the thing meant should cover that also. Thing meant, you know, that talks about the context in which we are talking. So that gives the correct
we have
meaning.
covered, no? We have covered that.
We have covered, yeah.
Yeah, the contextual meanings will be different. Secondary meanings will be different. That we have already discussed. But here, this is the primary, pictorial representation of the Shabda Bodha as given by this author in his book.
This B should cover the context also, because thing meant has to, it depends upon the context.
The context, of course, the meaning of the words will change, definitely will change. But basically, when we say meaning, you can apply it to the primary, secondary, and other meanings also we can apply. But the primary meaning is what we are talking. When we are talking about Shabda Bodha, it is the primary meaning, which is intertwined with the actual word.
So we are going to stick to Abhida meaning right now.
We have to stick to Abhida meaning when we are talking here, because contextual meanings, there will be so many of them. And those are only contextual. Cannot always say that is the actual meaning of the word. So based on the context only that will come. So that need not be considered as primary meaning. And here when we are talking, we need not specifically, represent all those. When we are talking about Shabda Bodha, when a word is uttered, the first meaning that comes to your mind should be the primary meaning only. Contextual meanings and all come later. And that will always change. Constantly, they will change based on the context. They have different shades of meaning. They can have the overall meaning will be the same, but slight shades will be there depending on the context on how you are using it. So those we need not worry about at the Shabda Bodha level. Here we can only say that the primary meaning should occur to you when the Shabda is uttered. Then only we can consider that the Shabda Bodha has happened.
Ma'am, we can say that the primary meaning Surya is only sun. But secondary meaning also, Indra is also a Surya. Surya also called Indra. That is the secondary meaning. Is it not, madam? Like Agni is also called Surya because Agni produces heat. These are the other meanings of the Surya. Can we take like that? Unless and understand, we cannot apply Abhida as a Surya. We can also understand the secondary meaning like Indra, Agni, like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, secondary meaning, don't understand it as secondary meaning is not. See, if the word Surya equally indicates Indra as much as the sun.
It is true. Yeah, I can understand that. It may not be necessary to apply equally.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
It may not be. No.
Is it like Hari?
Even Hari has like 50 different meanings, right?
Yeah. So many. Hari is also,
We are not even aware of all the meanings. But Vishnu is the primary meaning. And that Shabda Bodha, if it happens, that is fine. With every word, we will have many meanings. Not necessary all will be there. The more you have, the more word power you have. It is always good. But, at least the primary meaning we should know for every word. Okay. So moving on. So here, this is the important part of Shabda Bodha. Padajnanam tu karanam, dwaram tatra padartha dhihi, Shabda Bodha phalam, tatra shakti dhihi sahakarini. Now Padajnanam and padartha dhihi. Padajnanam is the word symbol, knowing the word symbol. The utterance you should know. If you know the object, it is not enough, right? If you have seen fire several times, you have seen it, but what do you call it? You should also know that. So the Padajnanam should also be there. If you don't have the Padajnanam, when somebody is trying to communicate with you, you will not know. You will not understand what they are trying to say. So first, to start with, the Padajnanam should be there. The word power should be there. You should know. You should listen to the words. At least you should read. Okay, Padajnanam tu karanam. Karanam. Why? Because that will be used as an instrument to understand the padartha. So to be able to understand the meaning of the word, you should first know the word. Without knowing the word, how can we understand the meaning of that word? Okay. So here Padajnanam is used as an instrument to understand the padartha. And dwaram, through that, tatra padartha dhihi. Okay. Through that karanam, the padartha dhihi will obtain. Padartha dhihi. Dhihi is knowledge. Padartha dhihi. Knowledge of the padartha happens. Shabda Bodha phalam tatra shakti dhihi sahakarini. Now this shakti dhihi means the relation between the pada and the padartha. Now, like I said, the pada is there, Agni is there, and the object is also right in front of you. But the Shakti Dhihi means the relation between this sound and that object. That also should be there. That is called Shakti Dhihi. Okay. Then only if the Shakti Dhihi happens, okay, with this Shakti Dhi as the Sahakarini, means this Shakti Dhihi helps us to have Shabda Bodha as the phalam. So the Shabda Bodha happens through Shakti Dhihi. And how does Shakti Dhihi happen? By having the Padajnanam and Padartha Dhihi. Okay. So in this context, I would like to also again go back to our shloka, which we recited at the beginning of the class. Vagarthaviva sampraktau, Vagartha pratipattaye, Jagata pitarau vande, Parvati parameshwarau. Okay. So here Vagarthaviva. Okay, when you split the word Vagarthau iva, like Vak and Artha. Vak here means the sound, the speech. Like the Vak and the Artha, Sampraktau. Sampraktau means joined. Okay, joined. Ekikrita, Sanyukta. Like how the Vak and Artha are joined, combined. Vagartha Pratipattaye. Pratipattaye means to obtain. To obtain what? Vagartha. Okay, to obtain the Vak and the Artha. The knowledge of the Vak and the Artha. Jagatah Pitarau, the mother and father of the Jagat, Vande, Aham Vande, Parvati Parameshwarau. So here the Anvaya is Aham Jagatah Pitarau, Parvati Parameshwarau, Vande. Kidrisham Parvati Parameshwarau, Vagarthaviva Sampraktau. So Parvati and Parameshwara are joined like the Vak and the Artha. Okay, they are in unity, like Ardhanarishwara we say, right? So they are so much, joined like the Vak and the Artha.
Inseparable.
Okay. And to inseparable. To them I am saluting. Why? For what purpose? So that I also can obtain the knowledge of the Vak and the Artha. So that is the reason why I have been emphasizing on that word symbol and the word meaning. So there is so much between the two. We should be able to look at them separately and also the connection that they have, which is inseparable. Okay, many times we are so used to only the word meanings that we don't look at the word symbol and word meaning as two different things, and also having that knowledge of the sambandha between the word symbol and the word meaning, that is called the Shabda Bodha. That is called Shakti, and through which we get the Shabda Bodha. So that we need to be only aware of it. We all know that, but we need to be aware of it. Why? Because when we are learning something new, that happens. So when we are aware of it, it will become easy for us. Okay, now I know these Shabdas. I know the symbols. Now the meaning. Okay, how with that awareness, it will become easy for us to learn. So that is the shloka. Okay, Vagarthaviva Sampraktau, Vagartha Pratipattaye, Jagatah Pitarau Vande, Parvati Parameshwarau. So here Pitarau is used in the place of Parvati Parameshwarau. So this is a Kevala Samasa. Okay, it is also called as Ekashesha. Ekashesha is only one remains. When two words of the same are used, when two words of the same rupam, the same vibhakti forms are used, only one of them will remain. Normally in a Dvandva Samasa, how do we use? We use Rama Lakshmana, Rama Lakshmanau, we say. If we want to say Ramaha, Ramaha, Ramau we say. We don't say Rama, Ramau. Rama Lakshmanau we say. But if it is two Ramas, we don't say Rama, Ramau. We say Ramau. Okay. So that is because of the Kevala Samasa, which is also called Ekashesha. Okay. It is not exactly a Samasa. It is a kind of Vritti. Okay. Samasa is a Vritti. Ekashesha is another Vritti. Okay. So it comes in place of the Dvandva Samasa when both words are the same. Only one of them will remain. So here Pitarau, here it actually represents Mata Pitarau, Mata and Pita. But here Pita only is taken in both cases. That is again an exception of this sutra, Pita Matra. So whenever Pita and Matra are used together, only Pita will retain. In the place of Mata also, Pita only will be used. So Pita, Pita, it will become, so Pitarau, it will become. Okay. Mata Pitarau also you can say, or Pitarau also you can say. Both are valid only. Vikalpena tat bhavati. Okay. So that is why Pitarau is used in place of Parvati Parameshwarau. There is another explanation also here. Parvati Parameshwarau can be split as Parvati Pa Rameshwarau. So Parvati Pa is Parvati's pati. So Shiva. And Rameshwarau, Ramayaha Ishwaraha, Rameshwaraha. Okay, so that is Vishnu. So Shiva and Vishnu, both of them are fathers of the world. In that sense also, in some places it is given. I leave it to you. However you want, you can interpret it. But those are the two ways that can be interpreted. So that is about the Pada and Padartha. Okay, the significance of the Pada and Padartha So much is there in our Vyakarana. Okay. Anantaram Vakyartaha Katham Bhavati. So now we have been saying, right? Okay, a group of words cannot make a Vakyam. They should have a meaning. So all that. So how do we see the meaning? How do we see the meaning of a Vakya? Okay, let us see. Padachchedaha Padarthoktihi Vigraho Vakya Yojana Akshepasya Samadhanam Vyakhyanam Panchalakshanam. Okay, so there are 5 ways to understand a Vakya. To understand or to get Vakyartha, there are 5 things that we need to do. One is Padachchedaha. If there are any Sandhi Karyas, we need to do the Padachchedaha. Anantaram Padartha Yuktihi. Okay, so we have to associate each word with the meaning. Anantaram Vigrahaha. If there are any Samasa words, we have to be able to give the Vigraha Vakya of that Samasa. Vakya Yojana. So by joining all this, the Vakya Yojana happens. By joining all these words in the sentence, okay, writing them in prose order. That is what Vakya Yojana means. After splitting the words, after understanding the meanings of the words, after understanding the Vigraha Vakya of the Samasa words, then we have to write them in prose order. And Akshepasya Samadhanam Vyakhyanam. Akshepasya means many times there will always be a debate among the literary scholars. They will be challenging each other with questions. So you should be able to write Vyakhyanam for all such questions posed by the critics. Okay, so Akshepasya Samadhanam Vyakhyanam. So you should be able to answer the critics and also write a Vyakhyanam answering all that. So what is or how is the Vyakhyanam written? There are 2 ways you write a Vyakhyanam. One is Dandanvayaha, the other one is Khandanvayaha. So Dandanvaya, Khandanvaya. What is Anvaya? Okay, Anvaya nama kim? Shabda Bodha Prakriyayam Anvaya Bodha Ekaha Mahatpurnaha Sopanaha Vartate. So in order to get the Shabda Bodha, this Anvaya Bodha, okay, is a very big important step. Okay, Ekasya Padasya Aparapadena Saha Kaha Sambandhaha iti Anvayaha. So what is Anvayaha? Anvaya helps us in getting the Shabda Bodha. That is what the first part says. And the second line actually explains what Anvaya is. So in every word, in a sentence, every word, what kind of relation it has with another word. Okay. Ekasya Padasya Aparapadena Saha Kaha Sambandhaha iti Anvayaha. Okay. Usually, if we are able to tell the connection of that word with the Kriya Padam, that itself will establish the relation between all the words in the sentence. Okay. So that is called Anvaya. Okay. That relation, that Sambandha, we should be able to establish the Sambandha between the words of a sentence. Then you can say that the words are in Anvaya, and then you write it in prose order, that becomes the Anvaya. And then when we have 2 kinds of Anvayas, Dandanvaya and Khandanvaya. What is Dandanvaya? Adau Kartripadam Vachyam, Dvitiyadi Padam Tataha, Ktva Tumun Lyapcha Madhye Cha Kuryat, Ante Kriyapadam. So this is from the Samasa Chakram. This is another, grammar text. And this is a Karika from that text. So basically, Adau Kartripadam. Okay, so to start with, when a Vakyam is written in Anvaya, okay, a Vakyam can be in any order initially, but after you put it in Anvaya, especially Dandanvaya, Adau Kartripadam. So the Kartripadam should be first. Adau Kartripadam Vachyam. So first the Kartripadam should be said. Dvitiyadi Padam Tataha. Dvitiya Vibhakti Padani, Tritiya Vibhakti Padani, all those will come later. Anantaram Ktva Tumun Lyapcha Madhye. Okay, the Ktvanta, Tumunnanta, Lyabanta will be always in the middle of the sentence, right? Kuryat, Madhye tu Kuryat, Ante Kriyapadam. And the Kriyapadam should always be at the end. So that is how the Anvaya, the Dandanvaya is written. So these scholars, in their Vyakhyanam, they follow the Dandanvaya or the Khandanvaya. Dandanvaya is usually followed many times. In any Vyakhyanams, if you see, the shloka will be given, and then the Anvaya will be given, and then the Pada Vishleshana also will be given for some. The Samasa words will also be explained through the Vigraha Vakya. Okay, in some Vyakhyanams, you can see that. That is the Dandanvaya. Another definition is also there for the Dandanvaya. Visheshanam puraskritya visheshyam tadanantaram kartru karma yuktam etat anvaya lakshanam. So another lakshana for anvaya is stated. What is it? Visheshanam puraskritya visheshyam tadanantaram. So visheshyam will always be after visheshana. We know that, no? Visheshana visheshya bhava. So Visheshana always precedes the Visheshya. Means the adjective always comes in front of the noun, before the noun. Okay? Kartra karma kriya yuktam etad anvaya lakshanam. So the order of the words will be the Kartrapadam first, Karma Padam second, Kriya Padam last. And if there are any Visheshanas, they will precede the Visheshya. The Kartrapadam can have Visheshanas, Karma Padam can also have Visheshanas, but those Visheshanas should come before the nouns that they are qualifying. Okay, so that is another definition of the Dandanvaya. And then we have Khandanvaya. Khandanvaya is contains these three steps: Akanksha, Yogyata, Sannidhi. So what is Akanksha, Yogyata, Sannidhi? Akanksha is expectancy. Okay, expectancy. When I say Pathati, when I say Khadati, when I say Likhati, Kaha Likhati, Ka Likhati, when I say Gayati, Ka Gayati, Kaha Gayati. Okay, so who sang or who is singing? So immediately the expectancy comes for the Kartripadam. Of course, there is expectancy for the Karmapadam also. When I say Khadati, Kaha Khadati, Kam Khadati, Kutra Khadati, Kada Khadati, there is expectancy for all of these. Okay, so that is Akanksha. That expectancy is called Akanksha. So in Khandanvaya, what we do is we first identify the Kartripadam, and then using the Akanksha Paddhati, we identify the 6 Karakas. The Kartrikarakam, Karmakarakam, Karanakarakam, Sampradhanakarakam, Apadhanakarakam, and Adhikaranakarakam. Okay, we identify all those. What each of these Karakas mean, I will again explain. But Akanksha is expectancy. So when I say Gacchati, Kaha Gacchati, Ramaha Gacchati, Kutra Gacchati, Vanam Gacchati. Okay, Kada Gacchati, Prabhate Gacchati. Kutaha Gacchati, Prasadat Gacchati. Okay, from the Prasada, from the palace he went. Okay, so Kasmai Gacchati or Kasyai Gacchati, Sitayai Gacchati. Okay, so he went. He went for whom? For Sita. From where? From the palace. At what time? In the morning. Like this. Okay, so these are all Akanksha, expectancies of the Kriyapadam. And then Yogyata. For Yogyata, what does Yogyata means? Say for example, take the sentence Yanam Vanam Gacchati. Okay, Yanam Vanam Gacchati. Compatibility. Yogyata means compatibility. Here Yanam is an Apumsakalinga Shabdam. Vanam is an Apumsakalinga Shabdam. Okay, Yanam Vanam Gacchati. So how do you say which one is the Kartripadam here? Yanam va, Vanam va?
Yanam.
Yanam Kartripadam.
How did you say Yanam is the Kartripadam?
Vanam
Why not?
With the Kriya.
Seeing Kriya Padam.
With the
Kaha
Vanam cannot
Kriya
move.
Padam Srikrutya. Kaha Kim Vanam Gacchati, Yanam Vanam Gacchati.
Why not Vanam Gacchati?
Vanam cannot move. It is not
When I say
moving. So it is not correct.
Vanam
If we
is
say one is moving, then it is not correct meaning. It has not correct meaning.
So
Vanam is Karmapadam.
Yes, yes. So here, Vanam is something that cannot move. Yanam is something that can move. So when we say Gachati, for the Gachati Kriyapadam, the Yogyata is with something that can move. Because Gachati means to move, to go. So Vanam is a stationary thing. It cannot move. So there is no Yogyata between Vanam and Gachati. Yogyata means compatibility. There is no Yogyata. Both are in Napumsakalinga. In Napumsakalinga, Prathama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, Rupani Samanam asti. So you don't know which one is in Prathama and which one is Dvitiya. Right? You don't know. Say, for example, you are a new student. Both are in Napumsakalinga. You don't know which one is being used in which sense. Right? And if you are new to the language, you don't know the meaning of both. There is a possibility that you will mark Vanam as Kartripadam and Yanam as Karmapadam. Because you don't know the meaning. That is why we need to know the meaning of the pada, padartha. Okay, we need to know. Then you will understand, oh, Vanam is something that is stationary. It cannot move. So it does not have yogyata to be the Kartripadam. So it cannot be the Kartripadam. Yanam means a vehicle. So it has yogyata with the Kriyapadam. It can move. So Yanam has to be the Kartripadam. Vanam has to be the Karmapadam. That is how, based on yogyata, you will understand. Based on the yogyata, you will understand. You will mark the words correctly. That is yogyata. So to understand the Vakya, you need to understand the yogyata of the words with the Kriyapadam. Okay. So here then, the next one is, let us take this shloka, Sannidhi. Okay, the third quality is Sannidhi. Sannidhi means proximity. Okay, let us look at this shloka. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Here abravit is there. That is the Kriyapadam. Okay, Pandavanikam abravit we can say, no? Pandavanikam is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay, it is an army of the Pandavas. Pandavanikam abravit, yogyata is there. Okay, and there is akanksha for abravit. When I say abravit, kam abravit, Pandavanikam abravit, akanksha is also working. There is yogyata. Okay, Duryodhanaha abravit. Okay, so Duryodhanaha also has yogyata with the Kriyapadam abravit. Acharyam abravit. That also has yogyata. Okay. So then, Vachanam abravit. Vachanam also has yogyata. But why are we taking only Vachanam abravit? We are not saying Pandavanikam abravit. We are not saying Acharyam abravit. We are saying Vachanam abravit. By Sannidhi. Because the proximity of abravit is with Vachanam. Though there are other Dvitiya Vibhakti Padani, in the shloka, only Vachanam has the yogyata. Though other words also have yogyata. But we are picking only Vachanam. Why? Sannidhi. Because it has proximity with the Kriyapada. So Sannidhi is also important. Sannidhi is also important. Okay, Drishtva. Here we have another Kriyapadam, Drishtva. So Pandavanikam Drishtva. Acharyam Drishtva. We can say, no, Acharyam Drishtva. Vachanam Drishtva yogyata nasti. We cannot say Vachanam Drishtva. There is no yogyata there. So Vachanam is dropped. But for Drishtva, there are two karma padams. Pandavanikam Drishtva, Acharyam Drishtva. Both have yogyata. Both have yogyata. Somebody is drawing on the screen. Can you please not do that? So, but here the Sannidhi is with Pandavanikam. So Pandavanikam Drishtva, okay, Duryodhanaha tada Acharyam upasangamya. Upasangamya also has yogyata with Pandavanikam and Acharya. both. Vachanam upasangamya, that doesn't make sense. There is no yogyata there. But Pandavanikam also has yogyata with upasangamya. Acharyam also has yogyata. But here Acharyam has a sannidhi. So we have to pick that as the karma padam with the upasangamya lyabanta kriyapadam. Okay, so that is how we have to apply akanksha, yogyata and sannidhi to understand the meaning of a sentence. We simply cannot split them. You will split them. You will apply the akanksha. But how will you know when I say kam upasangamya, when I say kam upasangamya, what will you say? Will you say Acharyam upasangamya or Pandavanikam upasangamya? How will you know which one? Because both
Acharyam upasangamya.
Correct. You are saying Acharyam upasangamya, but how did you decide that is what I'm asking.
The proximity.
Exactly. So we need to also
the proximity within the shloka, is it?
Yes. The proximity is there within the shloka. Within the shloka only you see. Because only the shloka is given to us. The Anvaya is not given. When the shloka is given, how do you put it in Anvaya? Following these three, following the Akanksha, Yogyata and Sannidhi, you put them in Anvaya. That is called Khandanvaya. Why? Because you are breaking the sentence. Kaha vachanam abravit, kam vachanam abravit, kada kim kritva vachanam abravit. Like this, by asking, by doing the khandana of the shloka, you are arriving at an Anvaya. Okay, so that is why this is called Khandanvaya. And to do this Khandanvaya, you need these three: Akanksha, Yogyata, and Sannidhi. In Dandanvaya, it is after doing Khandanvaya, the Dandanvaya becomes easy. Dandanvaya is just putting in prose order. But how can you put it in prose order without knowing? So you need Khandanvaya to get to Dandanvaya. Dandanvaya, maybe scholars will be able to do without doing the Khandanvaya. They can directly give you the Dandanvaya. But for us, when we are learning, we need to do the Khandanvaya first and then come to arrive at Dandanvaya.
तो मिस खंडान्वय में पहले क्या क्रियापद को लेना है?
If you see, most of you have already completed Shiksha. So you must have done from the Parichaya itself, the shlokas are given and this process is explained, right? How to do the Anvaya. So there,
Anvaya Krama.
Anvaya Krama, whatever Anvaya doing in the Shiksha and the Kovida, the same here, it is explained in the words of Dandanvaya, Khandanvaya, Akanksha, Yogyata, Sannidhi. These are all the technical terms used, which we will not be taught, at that level, the Shiksha and the Kovida level. We will not be explained those terminology. But now that we are, going into the Anvaya Rachana through the Karaka, I thought that it will be good for you all to know the basic, terminology of all these, the Padartha, Vakyartha, significance of Shabda Bodha, and how the Anvaya is done. Okay. So in the next class, we will start off with the Karaka book. Now the basics, whatever I want to give as an introduction, I have covered in today's class. Starting from the next class, we will do completely from the Karaka book. Okay, if there is anything out of the book, I will prepare slides like this. Otherwise, we will be working through the book only. Okay.
So now we have learned the theory of the Anvaya Krama.
Yes.
महोदय, एक बात पूछनी थी। हम लोग शिक्षा के लिए जो क्लासेस है वो भी मंगलवार के दिन ही है और सेम टाइम पे है 8 से 10 तक। तो नेक्स्ट हम शायद यहाँ ज्वाइन नहीं हो पाएंगे।
No problem. No mandatory that you have to join all the classes. You can follow the recordings, because with so many people in the group, I'm sure it is already understood that some of you cannot you might be having something else in the same time. I'm totally okay with it. You can follow with the recordings.
Ma'am,
You have questions while you're following.
Recordings के लिए link देंगे please.
Tomorrow. I will post it in the group tomorrow.
Bhagini,
Bhagini.
Namaste Bhagini. Description मध्ये link स्थापयित्वा उत्तमं Bhagini.
I still did not create, after I put the first recording, only then the link will be generated. So then I will post it.
Okay. Thank you, Bhagini. Another question. Beginning, you have shared a screen, no, Bhagini. That one, from where you have taken?
From various sources, not from one place. I simply gathered from my class material.
Will you please share those things in the group, Bhagini?
Yes.
Thank you, Bhagini.
Bhagini, I have a prashna. I have a difficulty obtaining Shiksha book from here, and I don't have a much connection in India. Is there a PDF that anybody can share about Shiksha?
You can post it in the group, Bhagini. We shall first do the Shanti Mantram and stop the recording. Then you can talk, we can discuss other things.
Bhagini.
Okay. So, Lakshmi Bhagini, are you there? Or Alivelu Bhagini, would you like to say the Shanti Mantra?
Bhagini. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. धन्यवाद भगिनी, नमस्कारः सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादः भगिनी।